What would you want your story to be about tonight?
Um, Remember the story that was gonna be continued?
Yes.
That one.
Okay. Do you remember the names of the characters?
Um, when I was thinking about that the thing I was gonna tell you, I knew one of the names, but I remembered only one name, but now I don't remember
Okay.
any of the
Let's say
names.
they were Samantha and Jason, but I'm not sure if that was the right names.
Yes, that was the right names.
And do you remember that the last thing we saw was that Samantha and Jason were with this old lady that invited them to walk on a beach in Peru and then invited him into town? Did you hear anything of what I said?
Yes.
So what's the answer
What answer?
to my question?
What question?
Okay. So the last time we discussed this, love you, baby. The last time we discussed this, um, the Samantha and Jason. Are you a sponge? Oh, you ate sushi with a lot of soy sauce. That's why you're so thirsty. Well, you're gonna be peeing tonight. So, anyway, Samantha and Jason were headed for uh, the tour. You can keep drinking water. Don't stop on my account. It's fine. If you're thirsty, you're thirsty.
Yeah, really thirsty. I just drink water when I'm not thirsty.
That's okay. And so this old lady told them, "Let's go. I'll show you around." And they started walking into town. Um, and they realized that they were dressed a little bit different from the locals because there were mostly poor people from coastal city, uh, and they were dressed like teenagers that went camping on the mountains of somewhere in the USA. But other than that, even though they did get a couple looks, most people just ignore them. It was somewhat late at night, and the old lady said, "This way," to both kids. And they turned around a corner and they found a bookstore. And they went inside. It was deserted. There was thousands of books, but in reality, um, but there was no customers, which seemed odd to Samantha and Jason. Well, here we are. And pick a book, any book you like. What is this about? Said Jason. The answers are wherever you search for them. He scratched his head and thought, what does that mean? Come on, said Samantha. Let's pick a book. We're here, might as well do this. All right. They started glancing their eyes. And the books have titles. You know how a book, when it's like one next to the other, and you cannot see the front of the book, but you can see the back of the book, and the title is usually written there?
Yeah.
So that you can store many books one next to the other and you can pick up the one you want. Well, they had dates and letters, like, I don't know, 2013 ATW, you know, March 15, 2041, ZZX, stuff like that. And Samantha remarked that this made no sense. All the books, they had different sizes, some had different colors, but they all had a date and some letters on the back. uh, so Samantha told the old lady, how are we going to pick a book if they all have this weird things? Oh, you'll see. You'll pick the right one, I'm sure, said the old lady. So Samantha grabbed the book, and Jason grabbed her hand. Don't you understand what this is? These are coordinates. They're dates, and those letters, they're coordinates for something. For what? I guess we'll find out, said Samantha as she pulled out the book and started reading. It said 2014 AAN. It was a lovely afternoon, said the book. It was September 1st, 2014. I had been reading at home for quite a while and decided to go for a bike ride. I know, I'm only 17 years old, but Mom doesn't care if I ride the bike around the neighborhood. Besides, there's this cute neighbor that I really like, Jason, and sometimes he comes and rides the bike with me. I hope to meet him this day. Samantha put the book down. What's going on? I remember this. This is what happened in my life. That's the day I met you, Jason. And Jason said, yes, I remember. Let's keep reading. So we grabbed the book again. I decided to ride my bike a few times around the block. Hopefully Jason would notice. But he wasn't coming out through his window to see me as he usually does and wave hi. What do I have to do to get the attention of this guy? I really like him. Whatever. I'll just go for it. And she rang Jason's bell. Wait, I remember that, said Jason. That was the day you rang my bell and asked me if I wanted to go ride the bike with you. They kept reading the book. As soon as Jason came down, she saw him with those eyes full of hope and said, hey, I've seen you noticing me every time I ride around on my bike. Do you want to join me? And Jason said, well, I remember, said Vanessa. You were stuttering at first. Yes, because you caught me off guard. I was really looking at my window because I really liked you. I wasn't expecting you to ask me on a date. A date, said Vanessa? That was not a date. That was us just riding in bicycles. We were still kids. Oh, great memories. But what is this written on this book? Wait, do you not see what this is? This is the exact date that's written on the book is when we met. Yes, but then what are the letters? Wait, here's another book with different letters, but the same date. Let's check it out. And they opened the book. I had been reading in my living room, and I decided I wanted to ride my bicycle. Perhaps I would meet this cute guy from the neighborhood that is always checking me out through his window. So I took my bicycle out. I was still a kid, but Mom allowed me to ride the bicycle in the neighborhood. Yes, it's the same book as before, said Jason. Don't you see? Wait, it's not the exact same one. It's saying the same thing, but it's using different words. Let's keep reading. I went around the block a couple of times trying to get this cute neighbor to notice me, but he wasn't coming out the window. I had to do something about it. There you go, Jason said. See? Same date, different letters, but it's the same book. Wait a moment, said Samantha. Look at what says next. It wasn't a good idea. I didn't want to ring the bell. It felt too uncomfortable for me. If he wasn't ready to notice me, then it may not have been for us. I kept riding my bicycle for a little while and came back home. Don't you see what this is? This is a different story, said Samantha. It's the same date, but I made a different choice. And when I made a different choice, my future changed. This is the same date, but different letters. So the date is the date in our lives, but the letters correspond to different possible futures. Wait, said Jason. This is way too complicated. And they both turn around and look at the old lady to ask her, what was this about? But she had disappeared. They were in there, all alone now. Wait, how are we going to go back? How are we going to get back? Said Samantha. Don't worry, Jason said. I have an idea. Let's check the books from our future. Perhaps there's a hint there. And so they decided to go looking for a book with a date 10 days in the future. They realized this was no easy task. This library had everything mixed up, or at least that's how it looked like, and it was huge. There were doors after doors with different rooms full of huge books, some big, some small, but I mean tons and tons of books. But they decided to search together. That would be faster. And after about 45 minutes of searching, Samantha said, I got it. I found a book from the future. Huh, let's open it up and see what our future looks like. And tomorrow I will tell you the rest of the story. To be continued.